Hello. Hi. Uh, I'm watching if this is going on. Yeah. It took me a little bit of time to get ready and to do this transmission because the energies here are a little bit strange and the weather has changed a lot. Summer's gone and I'm in some no phase because I'm like everything is a no. Uh, and I'm just, I've been having some strange dreams. And I don't know, some really scary stuff I'm seeing, scary beings, and I don't know where I am for the last week, in which dimension that is, or which reality. So I wasn't really in the mood to do this, unlike the last one, but the previous one, I need to address some things, and I was addressing them in my previous video in Serbian, which is I need to pull this a little bit closer because I just um, so far. I'm. It was more for the Serbian community around here, for people that are following me around here, because there were some things that were happening that I did not like. Uh, it kind of stopped, but presented itself in a different way. So I don't have these kind of experiences with anyone who might be watching this video and needs it in English. But anyways, I'm gonna be speaking about it because it needs closing. And yeah, it's about boundaries. It's about boundaries uh, on an astral plane mostly, which in physical reality presented itself to me in different ways that I've already spoke about. I've had family issues and I'm still in them, but these are, are other things connected to that are connected to boundaries. And it's about boundaries on that level, energetical, not even energetical. It's about some astral attacks and some other things that I'm being dragged into that are presenting itself in my physical reality in this way. So it became, because other things in the meantime have presented itself. So I have to work with myself on being ready to speak about them because um it is about boundaries, but it's about very big pain in my heart that I'm feeling, and I just don't want to speak about it at the moment. So this is becoming more loud than the things about boundaries, but it's kind of connected. So I'm sharing all this. I'm speaking about it because, like I already said, with when I share my story, people connect to it, and I don't share as much so that you can recognize people that I'm talking about, but I'm just opening myself here so that you can open yourself up to me. And as I speak, I clear, and as you connect to my story, you you can clear something or um, recognize something in yourself that needs addressing. So whether you do it with me or somebody else, it doesn't really matter as long as it's being cleared. Besides, a lot of people are following me. Not I don't have as many followers, presented itself as much as they actually are watching what I'm saying, and a lot of people are repeating what I'm saying. Not these kind of things. They're not making it personal as I am. So there have been some things that I needed to address in that regard because there were some people that I was seeing in my energy that were trespassing, and kind of hooking into me that I didn't want them there. So I needed to address it properly. So what was going on was also kind of male female relationships and male domination over women over females. And there are some people, some energies that they just don't understand. No, they don't understand when you tell them nicely that you don't want something, that you're not open for something, that you're interested, that you don't do things because you're flirting or inviting people in your energy, but because it's your mission. And most people don't understand that I do this because I really feel it in my heart, because it is my mission, because it is something sacred to me. And they have an idea that I'm a public property of some sort, and that they can just dump into my energy. And that goes for male and female both. Because this channel is open, and it is here for everybody. It is here for everybody's raising awareness. But I don't share everything here. I don't say everything. It is a small portion of a quite bigger lesson that I was given through my experiences or my life, or I learned a lesson from people or from books or from beings, or I had an initiation. And I don't share everything. I share just a small portion so that it can instigate something in you. And then I see people repeating that uh, and creating something out of it, which is, first of all, it's incorrect. Second, it's opening stuff for something else other than actually what I wanted it to open. And thirdly, they're using it for themselves, for their own profit. I don't make profit out of this. Yeah, you come as client sometimes if you feel called to, but I don't pull anybody's strings, or I don't pull anybody's sleeve to come to see me. You come if you feel nudged, if your guide bring you. And this is why I'm not chasing followers, and I'm not charging this. So in that sense, it's open for everybody, and I'm not going to close it unless I'm being told by my supervisors from above that I should. But I just don't want to allow some energies hooking into me and sending my energy stream to them, and then creating profit for themselves from it without actually knowing what they're speaking about. And I know that this is happening because I'm seeing people. I mean, I'm very psychic, and I have a whole lot of talents, and I actually do have them. And not half of them it's even shown. I'm not speaking about it because I'm not using them, because it's for what I do, for my mission here. They're not at the moment. They're not needed for my sessions, because I do it differently. I allow for evolution of your soul to happen, so I don't mingle and interfere. I don't like when you mingle and interfere into my energy and into my lessons, and you sort of, some do it very purposefully and very consciously to drift me off my track, and some do it unconsciously. They don't realize that this is what they're doing because they've seen others doing it, because they're all repeating what they heard from somebody else. It's a little bit different when you come to somebody's class or somebody's session or meeting or something. But those people that I've taught repeating what I'm actually saying, and I know it's my words, because some of those things nobody else is speaking about around here where I am. So I see them. I see them either in meditation. I see them in dreams, and I see them in my energy. I actually see, because they're hooked in me. They have a cord in me, and I sometimes see a flash. I don't have to be in a meditation. I see a flash when you're very direct your energy towards me, especially when you connect to my channel and listen and learn from what I'm speaking. I sense you. And sometimes it's just a flash, and I'm sensing my clients, and I'm dreaming about my clients because I work with them in dreams and before they come. But I also sense some people who are often observing me from some level or in this level. And I wait a little bit to see what's going on, see what's happening. And most of them don't even, they don't follow me regularly. They don't make known or shout out that they like something, that they learned something. They don't even mention me anywhere. But they're surely using my words. I didn't catch anybody so far repeating of what I wrote, but I caught a whole lot of them repeating of what I said and creating workshops and other stuff for them from what's my own personal experience and what was given to me. I emanate those things. It's been transferred. It's not always channeling at the moment. It's not channeling, but when something needs to be said, like in those transmissions where I sometimes have like language and sometimes just speak about some of the issues, I didn't learn them from anybody. It's just, it's like telepathic or some kind of transmission that I feel here. And I'm just saying because, like I said, when I see at some moment when I was researching what was going on, I see myself here and I'm speaking in another language, light language, and then my brain is translating this to me and I'm translating it to you in English or Serbian. I don't even know what's gonna come. So I don't I don't prepare this. Some people criticize me because I don't have PowerPoints, presentations, and stuff, written somewhere what I'm gonna. I'm not allowed to do that because it happens when it happens, and it happens when they want me to happen. So I don't know what I'm gonna speak about before I sit down. It just goes through me, and this is why most of the times my Serbian videos are very different from what I say in my English videos, but the message is the same because the message needs to be conveyed. And I know that you're not doing this because you're repeating what I'm. So it's not about that. Raising awareness is okay, and sharing the message is okay, but stealing from me is not okay. Without you have never came to see me, you never spoke to me, you never been to my session, or you never even said that you heard something from me or learned something from me. You never even shout out my channel or anything. You don't have to, but it's just, and at some level that's considered a theft. It's an energy theft, and I don't want to put up with it. So I blocked a whole lot of people on my social networks, mostly from around here, because of that, because I caught them. I was observing for a while what was going on, and about the time when I started feeling them, I found later on those things because I was just, well, let me see what's going on. We never cooperated. With some of them, I have been cooperating with some of them, and we either spoke, maybe they called me for a session, and then they spoke with me and had a free consultation, and something changed in them, but they are listening to this channel, and then they're repeating some things, and they're following me. Or I had workshops in their place or something like that, but they're still not mentioning that they heard something from me. With most of them, I haven't even met any. With some of them I've just met and I know who they are. With most of them, I haven't even met them. I was sensing this person from this other town from here who is a bit, in spiritual circles around here, well known. And I was wondering, why is this person, why is this person in my field? Why am I living with this person? And I know that he's watching me. So sometimes I'm not sure why and what are the intentions. But when the energy is intrusive, when it feels intrusive, you're trespassing. So if you're not communicating with me, or I don't know, sending some good thoughts or whatever, if you're criticizing me at that moment in your mind, I'm gonna feel it as an intrusive energy. So I'm just leaving the time to observe a little bit to see what's going on, because I don't always know. And I sense you as you are. I see your physical appearance, but I sense you as you are. If we had some issues from the past, uh, that's maybe clearing at that time, I might also be feeling it as an intrusive energy. But if you have some intention or of directing me towards your path, I'm going to feel it as an intrusive energy. So this person followed me later, so this is why I'm absolutely sure that he was observing for a while, and I allow it, because that's okay, that's normal. We are, I'm open for cooperations, I'm open for communications, I'm open for all sorts of things when cards are open, and that's fine. And even from things like that, when there are misunderstandings in energy readings, good things can happen. But what I observed that I'm being used, and especially that you're directing the stream of mind, you're hooking into me as if I'm your battery, and then you're directing it. It's your side. That's energy theft, and that I don't like it. This is why I needed to address it, and I needed to publicly say these things because those people were watching my channel. So this is what was going on, and this is one part of the boundaries. But as for the male energies that were intrusive, that's been going on since I started working, since I became, open my my web page and my Facebook. And I didn't even want to have all this, because clients were coming to me even then in mysterious ways. But I did it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm doing this channel now. But some people are seeing it in a different way, not so very secret way, especially men. So I've had not only some intrusive energies, I've had threats, and I've had mm, some aggression sent my way. Not only for people who are actually following me and want to steal my, hook into me and steal my energy, which is happening. I have this person who is really aggressive being, but he's physical. Also, who is really really aggressive. Uh, but there are others who are like, who have some ideas of their own of what I do and who am I, or who I should be in their eyes. I'm a woman. I'm a woman that's publicly speaking some nonsense, and they think it's just because of the energy uh, um, of being in the center of somebody's attention. And then they send me messages and ask me if they don't even ask me if I want to have a drink or something like that. They're just asking me, uh, oh, are you doing a massage? What kind of massage? When I say I'm doing therapy, and or they say, when I say that I'm not doing a massage, I'm doing very. It's not a psychotherapy, but very deep, psychotherapy, similar to psychotherapy, and I'm doing hypnotherapy. Most of them don't even know what that is, and they have their own ideas of what that is. And some of them say like, "Oh, are you doing massage? What kind of massage? How much does that cost?" and stuff like that. And then I get offended, and I tell them just to remove yourself from my page, so that I don't have to do it. Some of them say, "Oh, you're a therapist." They become angry and become aggressive, and they say, "I don't want to. I don't want you looking on my brain, in my brain, looking into my brain." I'm like, dude, I am not interested in your brain and anything with you, to trust me. So the other ones, they try to engage in a conversation and want to place boundaries, and I tell them, I'm not interested in communicating with people that I don't know. Want a session? I'm doing sessions. Do you want a cooperation? I'm open for cooperations. I'm not interested in having a drink or answering questions that are personal with the people that I don't know, especially not, in digital flirting. And I don't think you're looking for a partner. I mean, yeah, in these days, this is all you get, but it sense people energetically. So I sense their intentions. It's not about what they say, how they appear. I sense their intention, and the intention is very aggressive and very intrusive, and it's clearly telling me I'm telepathic. So it's clearly telling me what they want. They don't even have to tell me. So I become really, and one of them who is like some yogi guy, like very spiritual guy. He was trying to communicate with me. I mean, about that. So he asked me about my altar, but he didn't ask it like in a nice way. Why? What does it represent or something? He said, "Why did you connect this to this?" And why this? He was really, I'm this smart guy. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. And I'm like, I don't. I mean, I really don't need to explain myself to anybody because this means something to me. It's mine. It means something to me, and especially I don't need to explain myself to somebody I don't even know. And then he started swearing at me. He said, I mean, I can't translate it because it's in Serbian, but it was really rude. He said, I'm rude. And I'm like, I am trying to find the uh, proper word in English, but I'm lacking it. It's like, you nasty bitch or something like that. So it's mostly because of the very spiritual guy. It's mostly because of the dynamic here, male and female dynamic here, because you're not used to women placing boundaries at you. If they're women want something, they either flirt with you or uh, they gains. So either to push you away or drag you in further use or something like that, or you use them. And I'm just sometimes I'm direct, and sometimes I just I'm sorry. I don't. I mean, I don't want that. And I'm always nice. I'm never rude. But energetically speaking, it's a boundary, and they don't like that. And then there was somebody who was constantly calling me on the phone, and because it was even a guy that I hired to do something around my flat, and I couldn't get rid of him because it was nice. It was just, he wanted to help, do things for me, blah blah blah, and well, you just find somebody coming into your life slowly, and I'm like, I don't want this person in my so much in my energy. And I only went out with this guy just to tell them that I'm not interested, and I just plainly like this. I said, I am not interested in this. What you want, I can offer friendship. That's all. But that doesn't mean that he can call me 5 times a day, every day, and still push his way. I don't like, having to not talk to somebody and be rude or disconnect and answer the phone, which I had to do this time. But it was like very pushy energy and very intrusive. And it's, I react to energy more than I react to sometimes what people tell me. And yeah, this seems like very unimportant now, but it was about those boundaries. It was about male disrespect of female energy and boundaries and what the woman is about. Because I'm doing something sacred here, and then I have people doing this to me. Whenever, if I had, if they gave me, I don't know, euro or €5 every time they told me, when I tell them I'm a therapist and they tell me, oh, what kind of massage are you doing? I need a massage. This is I mean, I would be rich by now because I just like that. I it's so disrespectful, and not because of their own ideas. When you don't know something, it's okay to ask, and it's okay to say, oh, I don't know anything about it. What is that? And it's sometimes okay, you have an assumption, that's okay, but it's because of what this assumption is and what it means to me. It's so demeaning, and it's so undermining. You are so below me, and being nice to somebody, it's not always flirting. I mean, I don't even know how to do that. I'm not that kind of woman. I'm a stupid woman. But I'm not a stupid woman, but I'm just not interested in those kind of things. So yeah, in that respect, I mean, I had to say this because I also had people, men, uh, offering me money for something they think is therapy. Because they think this is a cover up for something else. And I get really sad because I'm offering something sacred. I'm offering it from my heart. The sacred energies are present with me here, and then I get something like this. It's like I feel it as an attempt to dirty, to dirty it. And not from them; they're completely unconscious, but from whatever is pushing them to do it. And even when they're trying to do something like that, when they try to engage in a conversation, and I tell them, well, it's possibly that you're feeling this because you need something, because you need a session, or there is something you need, you don't understand something, you need clarify, clarify something. They tend to become pretty rude, uh, because for most of them around here, this is still a mumbo jumbo talk, especially when I do like language. Think I'm pretty crazy. So I find it disrespectful, and I needed to address it. So those things have stopped. I mean, they even send me photos with their intimate parts and stuff. I don't understand that. It's stupid. I mean, maybe I'm too old. But I was never that kind of woman, and I was never interested in something like that. This is not a way to find a partner. If some people are thinking that this is the way to find a partner, it's a way for something to hook into you and drain the hell out of you and your energy, and it's a way for you to create for yourself, possibly for someone else, a whole lot more problems. I had clients with things like that. So I mean, I'm really not into that, and I'm really not interested. So sometimes, yeah, it's okay to place boundaries at the beginning. Sometimes we miss that part. And I like open cards. I like cards on the table, and I like to know where I stand with people. It doesn't really matter whether this is a cooperation or a friendship or some kind of relationship. This is actually what rarely happens because most people don't know how to place boundaries or don't place them in time. So um, sometimes we have permeable boundaries, and we allow people to overstep them because we want something with these people, and mm, we allow it. Um, but sometimes it comes with lessons that we might not like, and sometimes it's hard to disentangle afterwards. So we go into some behaviors that are not. But I wanted to say grown up, but it's like like their behaviors are childish behaviors. If you regress a little bit because you haven't, when you have to become rude, and when you have to yell, when you become aggressive, when you're placing boundaries with some people around you, it means you haven't discussed things from the very start. You haven't placed your boundaries from the beginning. Sometimes there are no boundaries, but when you discuss things, when you speak to people, and when you know how you function, and you say, hey, I like this, I don't like this. This is who I am. This is what I can accept. This is what I cannot accept. This is what's going to hurt me. This is what I can live with. This is completely acceptable. There are things we all know what is completely acceptable and what is not acceptable to us. And sometimes we allow people, uh, we accept sometimes things that are unacceptable to us, thinking maybe because this is giving us something that we need at that moment. And then on the long run, it turns into dissatisfaction. We are being drained. Maybe we just like the power this gives us over somebody. And when this person actually needs, when we see that this person actually needs something more, we don't want that. This is how mainly men function. They become rude and aggressive. There are some women too, but some people tend to run away and hit the door, and some people become aggressive, mainly men. So the things that have been happening to me is like, um, I was too open in some uh, places, in some groups where I shared with some people, and my guide, my primary, well, actually, it's not my guide, my partner, my divine partner, he said enough, and I was kicked out of those groups and those um, places because I was used. My energy was being used there. And at the beginning, it was an exchange and it was okay, but then they took too much without actually giving me something. And he didn't want to cooperate with them anymore. They were using his energy because he's like, I'm speaking about the higher self. And I didn't see it like that at that moment because it hurted me, and it was really, um, it was aggressive towards me. It was rude, and it was, I was even humiliated a bit. And in these other sisterhood groups, some lies were told, and I was really hurt by it. And another one because I spent a lot of time and I helped a lot and I gave a lot. I gave a lot, and I was just plainly being used. So he said, no, no, I don't want to. He didn't want me there anymore. And I'm clear. I mean, now I'm sensing a little bit better where he wants me to be. But he just stopped. Not only me, but him, like a being who is a guide to many others. He stopped cooperating with these energies, with these people. So sometimes when I don't recognize my boundaries, the higher beings around me do. And it was a lesson for me in there too. But that's what's been going on. So when I speak about boundaries, how this presents itself, this is a physical. What happened on the physical, but on the material plane. But what happened on the higher plane was this. What I'm just saying, and not only that, it's because of the, these things where I have been too open, where I haven't placed, where I mean, I have placed my boundaries. I have shown and set what I like and don't like, but that was not respected. So these other energies could come and basically use you in this, like, what I was saying now. So this is why some things had to stop, and it took a bit of time until all the other things, Now, we can also have a little bit harsh boundaries and not allow other people that should be there afterwards. Like, I'm cautious now, and I'm like, I'm not sure. As I said, I'm not always sure. Why am I sensing some energy? Why am I having dreams of some people? Why am I seeing them? Why am I flashing? Why are they flashing? So I need to understand a little bit and wait a little bit to see. But sometimes I'm reluctant to allow an information or to allow this energy manifest because of these experiences that I've had that I just shared. Because it's, some of the energies that have been there are really aggressive, and they even when you place a boundary, when you say no, they don't respect it, because basically on a higher plane, on an astral plane, they're using you. They are, uh, like with me, they have been projecting illusions and dragging me into illusionary spaces where I'm being not detained, but entertained, so that they can use my energy. They're dragging me into something. It's because like I said, I work with my clients in my dreams, and sometimes I do go myself into places that are vibrationally lower than my energy, and normally nothing would attach, but because of some of the things that have been creating, lowering my vibration through this pain that I was feeling, those are the things that were able to come. And besides, they were manipulating me. So this is why sometimes I have been. Um, this goes to the experience that is something that is coming up next that I need to work on. I mean, I am working on it for a while. Something that needs to be addressed, and I don't want to speak about it at the moment. But this is because I was too giving, to helping, to nurturing, and too much sacrificing myself to help somebody else. I do that for my client too, but this was not for a client. So I get manipulated in those planes, and I don't always know. And what happens is that either some beings come help me and get me out of it. I used to have help, but I don't have it anymore. Um, or my cat, she wakes me up every time when this starts happening. She becomes annoying, and she every single time. So yeah, uh, I just went sidetracked. So this is basically what I needed to address, because of because it was going on for too long. It was going too far, and I was really. I mean, I don't want to all this unknown people in my space and my energy and in my dreams. And dreams usually tell me why am I seeing somebody, and if they don't directly tell me, then I just by the way it feels and what they're doing. This, by the way, they communicate with me or not communicate with me, what they're doing in it. I see that some of those people, my block, were not. It was not what was going on. It was I was being great. Was like, you know, it's unethical. There is an ethic on a higher plane depending on the school that you belong to, and the school that I belong to has a certain ethic, and this is not recommendable. Yeah, we're all one and part of the one, and it all comes down to that. But it doesn't mean there is no ethic, and it doesn't mean that you won't have a lesson for it. Doesn't mean that this is not my lesson too. There is a lesson for me in it too. But from what I've seen with my clients and what's happening to me and from my relatives' experience and things, it comes down to abusing your powers and your talents. So when you're given something, a CD, when you develop, when you connect to your soul, and when you go higher, you clear a lot of your energy, but you receive more energy and you receive all the talents that are in your soul. And then some other beings work with you and through you. And basically, those gifts are yours, but they're not completely yours. But it's not about it. There are schools, there are certain schools that focus on developing abilities and certain powers, which essentially there's nothing wrong with that, but it's why you're using them. You shouldn't be using them for destruction, and you shouldn't be using them for harming others. You should be using it for healing or the advancement of um, consciousness. So this is not what happens all the time. And when you're doing that, you can sometimes slide into ego without noticing it. And you can also, use it to defend yourself or defend somebody, which at times can also be abuse of authority or power, because you are it's not about it, it's not about that, it's about you embodying your divinity, your soul, you being divine. Yeah, you have certain powers in them, but it's about a communion, a union with God, goddess, divine mother, father, God. And it's about love. It's not about love is the ultimate power there is. So sometimes if they want to crucify you, and you can send a lightning on them and a wrath of God on them, and you don't do it because they don't know what they're doing. That's how you work with your powers. You use it for good, not for destruction. And I have had many clients with the stories that when they use it for protection, use it for the benefit of others, but there was also destruction that they feel guilty about. And I had it myself, and I know from my own personal experience, you can be held back by something like that for a really long time. Not only because you are feeling guilt and carrying this emotion, but because other things attached to that. And remember those voices that I was mentioning that are constantly speaking, like the devil's advocate against you? They're using it. They're constantly telling you that that you abused your powers, even if you didn't, and you believe it because you feel guilty because of something that happened, and then you're perpetually in perpetuity, and then you perpetually suffer because of that, because you feel guilty. They are using it against you. You need a representative that's going to present your case. It's going to tell that you have actually helped somebody with that. But then you can, like I had a session with a client who abused the energy of guides that were working with him. It was a woman, but at that time he was a man, a very young man who um, liked being adored by women around there, and he developed his liking a little bit more than he should. He was abusing this energy to seduce women and to be liked by women, and this energy left him. This energy just, she said, it went out like a river out from it. It flowed out because it was not what this energy was there about. It was about raising consciousness and raising awareness and healing, not about his personal gain of being liked by women. And trust me, this is the best thing that can happen. This energy leaving you and them leaving you is the best thing that can happen, because you will do something about it. You will, you know it's not with you anymore. Luckily, she didn't have that many, strange energies at that time on her. Although, well, yeah, she did. In this life, in particularly, she, she felt also guilty. You can feel guilty about it, so you can add stuff to yourself that you need to clear off later. So quite a bit of a karmic lesson there. But them leaving you at that time is the best thing that can happen to you. This is actually why they do it, so that you can snap out of it and change something and do something. Sometimes they come back and sometimes they don't. It depends. Depends whether you learned your lesson and what is would there be a benefit for them to come back, for everybody involved, not only just you. So that's one thing about boundaries. In some place, it's not about just knowing what you want and what you don't want. It's not only just about protection. It's it's about this. It's about knowing how to use your energy and having ethics, having the ethics of respect of the energies that work through you, that gave you something, that have trust, place their trust in you and help you grow. And it's a little bit similar to what I was speaking about in the beginning, about when you're learning something from somebody. In a way, you're choosing this person to be your teacher, at least for the moment. And you should pay some kind of respect to this person. So I learn from other people, and I always quote who I'm not quoting and I'm not using their words, but I don't always say in what I'm speaking about. I learned it from this and this person. I spoke about my teachers, but this is why I share the channels on my page. I share mostly from the people that I've learned from. Sometimes it's from the people that I find it interesting, but lately it has been a lot from women that have been teaching me on other planes, but on this physical plane in this way. I haven't been to their school or their workshops, but I've learned from a certain group, and this is why I do it, because this is how I give respect for, because I received something from them. It's not only what I heard. I received something energetically in this transmission, in this exchange, and this is my respect, paying respect to that, and this is my offering to that. And for my teachers, I had more engaging exchange and paying respect to them. But I'm gonna be have dedicating a separate video for that. So yeah, this is why we learn. I mean, I don't know, in university, I was a university teacher, so when you quote, when you quote, you have to quote. You don't steal somebody's words, but it's intellectual property. You just have to quote in a certain way of how, where you read this and how you read. This is why, because it's unethical to do it, and it's punishable, like stealing intellectual property somewhere in more range countries is punishable, and not in this one. This is what we have to remind people. So in the spiritual plane, there is certain ethics too, and you might not even know it now, but you will have a lesson about around it. And sometimes, speaking about PD's powers, you don't recognize this lesson. Because sometimes what happens is when you lose it, you form agreements with some other beings who want to work through you or use you. So you think that they're giving you something, and actually they're using you, and a bunch of other people around you that come to see you and that you attract. So this is why you will see it as a karmic lesson at some other point. And this is why I'm speaking about it, because I know from personal experience how this looks, and I've seen through working with clients, and I've had some energies manipulating me into believing that I have been abusing some of the things that I have been given, so that they can use it, so that I don't ever claim it, because I've been so bad woman, which is, I mean, I have my share of shadow work and working with my darkness, but that what they were trying to convince me about was not actually true. It was not happening, and it took me quite a lot to understand how this works and how they're lying to you, and how some of the information that I've been receiving out were not true. Because I mean, this goes through to what was going on astral plane. It goes back to some past lives too with those people that I've had, but it goes through me not claiming what is mine, given me, what belongs to my lineage and myself, my soul. And of course, nothing happens without your soul allowing it. And this is a lesson for me. The personal lesson I'm still dismantling, but the most important part is that in this way I'm learning of what's happening with my clients, and I know to recognize some things when you come to work with me, and I know what to tell you, and I know where to guide you and what to ask you, and I this is how this is how I know how to recognize your emotion and what's happening, what's hiding behind it, because I have uncovered a lot of my own issues. I still have a lot of places to get to know myself better. But I've gotten into some pretty weird places in me, so this is why I can tell you all this. I don't ever get around to speak shortly. I don't know why. Was there anything else I needed to tell you? Um, yeah, I was calling. I was gonna speak about mention that I have this retreat uh if, around the equinox in September on the mountain here, local mountain Ertang. That is like a complex, natural pyramid complex, um, a sacred place around here because of a lot of the ancestry work there, and it's a stargate, it's a portal. Um, but I basically it is hard for me to explain what it is because I have a personal relationship with it, and it's quite close to where to my home place, and I don't want to share about how it happened. I mean, in most of my life, I never went there until last year. I felt called by the mountain to go there, and things happen to me when I go there, but I don't want to share it openly, publicly for everybody. I'm open for having a conversation about it if anybody is interested, but I'm not going to be speaking about it openly because it's because of the some of my followers around here, some of the people that will be watching this, and because it's personal to me. Maybe it doesn't sound as some of the things, maybe some of the things that some of the other things that I share here are more personal, but for me, this is like very personal. It's something that really, it's a very big heart connection with a mountain, with a place, and it's something that it's a being that is taking me there, and I don't want to paint this connection with bringing anything into it. That's why. And whoever, I mean, if anybody is interested about it, I'm glad to answer questions, but practically. However, you are welcome to come to this retreat and ask questions about it, or come and visit if you feel like it, because I've been having some dreams of how that mountain came to be and what happened there. There is a really special connection to my original group that came there. So yeah, that's why that became so important to me. I'm not a mountain hiker, but I climb that mountain usually at night just to watch the sunrise because it brings me cold, and I see that my mother father got in the sun at that moment. And this is another story. Uh, this is why I think that there is no separation between divine masculine and divine feminine, because I see them in the sun, and I don't buy the story anymore that you know male sun and women are moon, and they just, yeah, woman is a cyclical nature. And in this sense, I respect that and understand that, but I have had some other experiences with the energy of the moon that I need to speak about too. That is different. I don't I don't see it like I don't see it like that. And we're solar beings, and feminine and masculine energy are both in the solar energy in the sun. And I've been clearly shown that last year when I was at the sunrise there, and I just I just want to download my code, so that's why I'm going there. I can do it differently, but I need connection and protection of the sacred space. And yeah, you're welcome. I'm there. I think that's it. I know I'm holding my pie stone because it's reminding me of something nice. Uh, yeah, I won't be doing a light language transmission now. We'll be doing them once a month. Maybe I haven't done them in a while, so probably the next video will be that. I will. I am not open to share my content anymore that much on social networks and here. So this is why I decided that I'd rather send recordings of light language transmissions and only do them once a month publicly on YouTube or wherever if I feel nudged to. Although I need myself to share to do light language transmissions because I haven't been expressing myself in this way, and I'm open for cooperation in that sense too because I have some ideas, but it's not my primary line of work. So basically did them like this because I didn't know what else to do, because I'm not a musician or something like that, not a kind of artist. But I it changes a lot when it happens, you know. So I will gladly send them to people who want them, like a recording. And yeah, so about social networks, I am looking for the proper platform change, because I have had a lot of trespassing and abuse in this, the ones that I'm using at the moment. So that's another story, and this is why I needed also to speak about boundaries. It's always about you disrespecting your own boundaries. It's about aggressiveness. Aggressive energy is disrespecting your boundaries. This was mainly what this video was about. And I tend to withdraw when I sense and feel and see aggression, and especially when it's, like very, they have been quite aggressive with me for the last year, and since I have placed some other energetic boundaries and claimed some of my energy and my talent back, and some of my talent from my lineage back. So this is why I needed to do it. This is why I needed to say this, and quite possible that the story about boundaries will continue in a different way. And this is just more, like profane, because I don't want sacredness of what I do. And in this channel, I understand this channel and what I give you through it as something sacred, and I want to continue. And I want it to be perceived like that, because I really do it from the sacredness of my mission and my heart. And I do it with other beings are doing it with my team. And yeah, I really honestly I only want my divine partner, and I don't care about some other things. So I don't bother with some of those issues that I just mentioned, so that, so that it is publicly known. That's something else. That's it. That's, from another love from another plane. Thank you for having patience for my rambling tonight, and see you next.